Hare Krishna. We shall start off with today's prayers. Please kindly join with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Madhav ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gauranga ki Jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So today's chapter is very, very important and it's also amazing at the same time. Why? The reason being that in the previous chapter, the third one, in which Krishna describes about an insatiable enemy which is called as kama or lust. And that lust, Krishna at the end of the third chapter very vividly describes the anatomy, its symptoms and how it attacks us, the individual soul, from achieving our desired goal in life. And for that reason, Krishna specifically mentions that you should, Arjuna, you should curb this insatiable enemy, the all-devouring enemy called as lust, with the weapon of transcendental knowledge. And today's topic of discussion is the same transcendental knowledge. And in this chapter, Krishna beautifully elaborates the different angas, different parts of transcendental knowledge in 6 different portions. As you can see on the screen, there are 6. This chapter has been divided for our easy convenience to understand in 6 different divisions. The first is the history of Bhagavad-Gita. So, Bhagavad-Gita is the widely read theistic science across the globe. And Krishna here takes the opportunity to reveal to Arjuna how old the Bhagavad-Gita is. So Krishna here reveals that the Blessed Lord said, it's called as Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Blessed Lord said that I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivaswan. The sun god Vivaswan further instructed to his son Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu further instructed to his son Ikshvaku. Now, further the Ikshvaku passed on the same knowledge to his descendants. Just like I'll give you a simple example. This is the case of disciplic succession. Say, Sir Isaac Newton discovered gravity. After discovering gravity, it is not that he kept that knowledge to himself. No. He passed on the knowledge. He disseminated the knowledge. And this dissemination of knowledge to his students further pass on to their students. Those students pass on to further down the generation. Till the time we receive the knowledge, this entire chain is called as disciplic succession. So in a similar fashion, Bhagavad-Gita is also received through the Guru Shishya Parampara or the disciplic succession, the chain of disciplic succession. But what happened? In due course of time, this ancient science appears to be lost. It's a very unfortunate thing. But Krishna here is again speaking the same ancient science to Arjuna just to revive the original knowledge, the potent knowledge. So here Krishna again specifically mentions Arjuna's qualification to receive this divine ancient transcendental knowledge. I'll give you a simple analogy to make you understand the same thing. For example, in this room, a very sophisticated machine is there, which is several parts, several components, so many buttons are there, so many signals are there, so many instructions are there, and me being a layman, I'm not able to comprehend if the machine goes wrong, what to do next. In the same time, an expert mechanic happens to come in this room and he happens to see, okay, this is the problem, such and such is the problem, okay, fine. He'll go near the machine and just with a single push of a button, the entire machine starts functioning again. What's the difference? The difference is the difference of qualification. The mechanic, the expert mechanic is trained, his eyes are trained to see how things work as they are. Similarly, we should also be trained to receive the knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita as it is. And what is the qualification? After training, some qualification is achieved. What is the qualification which Arjuna already possesses? That is, Krishna mentions here in the third text that Bhakto Sime Sakha Cheti means that you are my devotee as well as my friend. So here Krishna hints to all of us via Arjuna that we should also try to become devotee of Krishna and try to love him as a friend. Then we will be equally qualified like Arjuna to receive this ancient science of yoga. Now here Arjuna poses a doubt to Krishna. Of course his doubt is very genuine. Krishna is asked by Arjuna that, you are my equal. We are born at the same time and we grew up, of course, brothers from different mothers. But how is that you instructed this ancient science of yoga to sun god who is so much superior to you? Arjuna has genuine doubt. Because if you see, as per the calculation of chronology, Arjuna and Krishna were equals. They were peers. But here Krishna claims that I have given the science, ancient science to Vivaswan, who is so much senior to birth, even to Arjuna and even to Krishna also. Arjuna has a doubt here. That's why Krishna starts giving the first piece of transcendental knowledge. Here we shift our gear to the second section of this chapter called as the supreme position of Krishna. Krishna says that in the fifth text, Krishna explicitly says that, the Blessed Lord said, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of enemy. If you recollect very clearly, Krishna has spoken on the same lines in the second chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, 12th text. He says that, me, Krishna, you, Arjuna and all the armies assembled in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, there was not a time in the past where they did not exist. Now also we are existing and in future also we shall continue to exist. But the only difference is that me, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is saying, I remember all the births, but you cannot remember. That's why you are having this kind of doubt. Krishna further explains his transcendental position, saying that in the sixth text, he specifically uses the word Ajopisan Avyayatma. The word Avyayatma means, you can see over there, my transcendental body never deteriorates. This body, which me and you have, has a birth date and also has an expiry date. But Krishna's body is not so. That's what Krishna here claims. His body is Avyayatma, and moreover it tells that Sambhavami Atmaya means I come into this material world by my own internal potency. Further, Krishna expands that in text number 7 you can see, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice. It's a very famous shloka in Bhagavad-Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavata bharata. It means that whenever there is some discrepancy, whenever there is more of adharma in the surrounding area or in the surrounding atmosphere, Krishna immediately incarnates. In this age of Kali Yuga, which is the current age running, Krishna incarnates in his sound form. And that sound form is confirmed in other Vedic scriptures also. We shall discuss about it in the further chapters as well. Then further Krishna says that, what is the purpose of his incarnation? There are two purposes. In text number 8, he clarifies that. What is that? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. It means that to simply protect my devotees, first objective of the mission. To protect my devotees, and second objective of the mission is to annihilate the miscreants. So whenever Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead descends on this planet, there are two objectives of his divine mission: to protect devotees and to annihilate miscreants. Then further Krishna says that any fortunate person, in text number 9 he says that any fortunate person who happens to know the secret of my birth and activities, janma, karma, chame divyam, those are transcendental in nature. Any person who knows that, for him liberation is guaranteed. After quitting this body, he is not going to take birth again. That is Krishna's assurance here in the Bhagavad-Gita. Krishna promises like that. Now from this, we jump on to the next section of this chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, which is called as how to apply this transcendental knowledge. Now we have got some tidbits of transcendental knowledge. Of course, the entire Bhagavad-Gita is about discussion how to apply transcendental knowledge. So here is the first phase of the application of transcendental knowledge. What is that? Krishna simply says that the very important verse in this chapter, 4.11, Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyam. I'll give a simple example to make you understand. For example, you're teaching in a class, or a teacher is teaching in a class. Now in his class, there are a variety of students sitting there and getting the knowledge. not all students will be of the same caliber. Not all students will be equally keen to listen to him, isn't it? Some students will be very much eager, they will be sincere at heart, genuine at heart, and want to know, receive the knowledge from the teacher. Some students will be naughty, they'll be mischievous, they'll be notorious, they'll create some mischief here and there, That's why Krishna, knowing our inherent nature of sometimes being sincere and sometimes not being so sincere, Krishna here says that, to the degree you surrender unto me, I reveal you the knowledge so that you can apply it in your life and make it sublime. So that is Krishna's reciprocation with us. It is not that Krishna will force us to surrender unto him. No, Krishna never forces anybody. Even to Arjuna also, you will find it in the later chapters of Bhagavad-Gita, the ocean of knowledge given in the Bhagavad-Gita, at the end, Arjuna was asked, whatever you want to do, you do it. So there is no force, no compulsion. But having said that, if we take to the words of Krishna, then we are the one who are getting benefited. That is a matter of intelligent choice, isn't it? Then, in the next section of Bhagavad-Gita, which is termed as varieties of karma, or the different aspects of karma in which a person can involve himself into. Now here, Krishna wants all of us via Arjuna. Krishna says that it is very difficult to understand the intricacies of karma. Why? In text number 16 to 18, Krishna explains 3 different varieties of karma. What are those? These are, first is karma, second is vikarma, and the third is akarma. Now what are these? These are of course technical terms. So I want your keen attention and patience to enable me to understand, make you understand all these things. So here Krishna says 3 technical terms, karma, vikarma and akarma. So if you can see in the table which is being projected, you will find that there are 3 columns which says that for whom. Karma is for oneself and vikarma is also for oneself, but akarma is such a term which is for transcendence or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Next, what is the attitude with which you do this activity called as karma? The attitude is according to Shastra, as per Shastric injunctions. Whatever is being prescribed as a duty for human beings, that is called as karma. On the other hand, vikarma means sinful activities, as simple as that, pap, isn't it? Now, another term, akarma, which is beyond karma and vikarma, which is acting as a servitor of Krishna. When you act as a servant of Krishna, then you are doing akarma. Akarma means it will yield you no positive reaction, no negative reaction also. And further, Krishna says, what is the result? The result of performing such kind of activities are, karma yields a good result. You will go to, Svargaloka, you will go to higher planetary systems. Then, if you do papa karma or vikarma, then what will happen? You will be fallen. You will enter into the lower regions of existence. But on the other hand, if you try to do activity for Krishna, if you do devotional service, if you do bhakti yoga, then what will happen? You will achieve transcendental happiness. So this mystery, even the most intelligent beings of this universe are not able to understand. That's why Krishna says, Kavayopi mohito, means the intelligent of the intelligent class of men are also getting bewildered to discern between karma, akarma and vikarma, which Krishna here so nicely explains. And further, in the last verse of this particular section 24, Krishna says that a person who develops all these qualities after getting transcendental knowledge, for him, he achieves mukti, or he attains the spiritual kingdom, which is far beyond this material sky. Now, after that, Krishna jumps on to the next section, Vedic sacrifices, which covers 25th to 33rd shloka, which simply enunciates that there are different varieties of sacrifices which are recommended in the Vedic scriptures. Of course, these are very technical details, but I'll highlight you the main important points. What happens when we are doing some sacrifice, or when we are doing our prescribed duties, as it is being referred in the Shastras, then we lead a life of piety. we live a life in the mode of goodness. And that life which is led in the mode of goodness makes us more qualified to make our life sublime. And the very easiest method of performing sacrifice, now I'll tell you the practical difficulty here. To perform a sacrifice, tons and tons of gold is required. To perform a sacrifice, kilos of pure ghee is required, clarified butter. To perform a sacrifice, qualified brahmanas are required. To perform a sacrifice, qualified recipient of the benefit of sacrifice is also required. To perform a sacrifice, a very big area wherein people can gather, that is also required. So practically speaking, to perform a sacrifice in this age of deterioration is not so palatable or not so possible. That is why, seeing this precarious situation of this age, the sages, Lord Krishna himself declared in the Shastras that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, iti Shodashakam Namnam. Shodashakam Namnam means, the word Shodashakam in Sanskrit means 16. If you count these names on a finger, you will find out that Hare Krishna, these are 4. So this string goes on for 4 more times. So 4 cross 4 goes to 16. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So twice goes to 16. Iti Shodashakam Namnam Kali Kalmashanashanam. It means that whatever malices are there in this age of Kali, everything is wiped out. And this is given in the Kali Santara Upanishad. So a very simple and practical method to perform a sacrifice is simply uttering the vibration Hare Krishna. And by performing that, what will happen? Prosperity will be there everywhere. Real prosperity. Not simply economic prosperity, but prosperity with respect to one's own health, prosperity with respect to one's own mind, prosperity with respect to the entire situation of the whole world. This will prevail by performing sacrifices. Now further, Krishna here reveals a top secret. Top secret. What is that? He says in the 34th shloka that to receive this transcendental knowledge, one also needs to follow a certain process. I'll tell you one thing. When we have some physical ailments in our body, we call a doctor. When we are not able to understand some concepts in physics, chemistry, maths, biology, we call up our professor. When we are suffering through some legal implications, we are going to the court to file a suit, we approach a lawyer. Now, when we are in spiritual crisis, what do? We call upon everyone and anyone. Whomever we see around us, we call upon them. We rest our trust upon them. No. Here's a small catch. That is why Krishna reveals the secret for our benefit in this particular shloka. What he says? He says that Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Just try to understand, try to learn the truth by approaching a bona fide spiritual master. Why? That bona fide spiritual master will be able to guide you because he himself has seen the truth. Just see. You won't accept any Tom, Dick and Harry, isn't it? A person who has given a book, for example, an author is there of the book, that author's name has to be bona fide. The same example I'll again quote. Newton has given the gravitational constant or the gravitational formulas for us to play with. But Newton himself was bona fide to give this kind of big, massive breakthroughs in physics. Because of Newton's position itself, we could now accept gravity, the theories of gravity as it is. So that is the bona fide position of Newton. Similarly, the spiritual master should also be bona fide. That bona fide spiritual master will be able to impart you Vedic knowledge, the secret of all secrets. And that Krishna is revealing to all of us. Just see how kind Krishna is. Now further, Krishna says that what is the result of approaching a spiritual master? Krishna says that in text number 35 and 36 that anyone who has learned the science of transcendental knowledge, he will see all living entities as parts and parcels of Krishna. And this is a formula to love everyone. This is a formula of universal love, universal brotherhood, universal harmony. That you see everyone as part and parcel of God. Furthermore, Krishna says that even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, you may consider yourself, I am the lowest of mankind, but still Krishna says that if you are situated in this boat of transcendental knowledge, then you will be able to cross over the ocean of material miseries. That is an assurance given by Krishna to all of us. That is a promise given by Krishna, and it's an infallible promise. Infallible, unbreakable promise. Further, Krishna says that how to acquire this transcendental knowledge and what category of people will be able to receive the transcendental knowledge. That's why Krishna says, without any malice in intent, Krishna says in text number 39, a faithful man, a person who is faithful. Now, faith here refers to something which is sublime in nature. That is called as faith. We should put our trust on something which is very sublime. And a faithful person will be able to receive the transcendental knowledge. On the other hand, a person who is not faithful or is faithless, unfortunate. He will not be able to understand that. So this is the sum and substance of this entire chapter, in which Krishna very wonderfully enunciates the path on which if we traverse, we will be able to conquer our most insatiable enemy. Mind you, it's an insatiable, all-devouring, sinful enemy. What is that? It's lust. So here Krishna starts on delivering the series of wonderful, amazing breakthrough lectures, which is the ancient science of Bhagavad-Gita. The very first one being this transcendental knowledge. To sum up, I will draw your attention once again to the entire discussion which we have in the past 20-25 minutes. What were that? In this chapter, there are 6 major divisions. The first division is Krishna tells about the history of Bhagavad-Gita in the very book itself. So if you see, it is more than thousands, lakhs, crores of years old, because the age of which Krishna is referring to is the age of Manu, or to be very precise, the age of Vivasvan, the sun god. It almost dates back to the time of creation. So that old Bhagavad-Gita is which is still laying it down intact, and even though it appears to be lost, Krishna again reiterates the same knowledge to Arjuna, his dearest devotee and friend. Now furthermore, Arjuna has a doubt here that how can you be, you are senior, he is senior to birth, Vivasvan is senior to you by birth, and how can you instruct him the knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita? Here Krishna enunciates his supreme transcendental position, that his birth is not an ordinary birth, and he remembers whatever births he takes, but we don't remember even whatever we did yesterday at the same point of time. That's why Krishna says that a person who knows my birth and knows my activities does not take birth again after quitting this body. Now with this, Krishna further goes on to the third section of Bhagavad Gita, 11 to 15. He says that a person who is surrendering unto me, he gives a trick to apply the transcendental knowledge. A person who surrenders to Krishna to some degree will be able to apply transcendental knowledge in his life. And further, Krishna says about the varieties of karma which are there, and complexities of karma, intricacies of karma, which has been coined down as karma, vikarma and akarma. So this is what covered in 16 to 24 text. Further, Krishna says that there are different varieties of Vedic sacrifices which is meant ultimately to help an individual soul come out of this cycle of birth and death, and the easiest method to perform the sacrifice is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, which Krishna will again further emphasize upon in the 10th chapter. When we come to the chapter, we'll come to know about that. Krishna specifically quotes a shloka regarding this. And the last one being how to acquire the transcendental knowledge. The process of acquiring is to approach a bona fide spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render some service unto him. Thus we also become qualified to receive the transcendental knowledge. And after receiving the transcendental knowledge, what is the effect? The effect is that we become a Samadarshi. Samadarshi means with an equal vision. We see everything around us. And at last Krishna says that only a faithful person will be able to really acquire and apply transcendental knowledge in his life, with which he can cut down the insatiable enemy, lust. So with this, we shall end here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Understand what you learned from this chapter by filling a simple form whose link is given in the description. It will make you eligible for receiving the certificate. You can also type all the questions which you have in the same form and we'll answer them through email. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss any updates.